So with that, the thing that most people are interested in, let's go see some demos. So what I'm going to show is I've got about 4 different demos here that will highlight many of the different channels that we talked about. And then at the end, I will go ahead and jump in and show you, again, the Oracle platform and how some of them were built. So the first is, and this is a publicly facing chatbot. If you go to jsecoin.com, you can go ahead and you'll be prompted on the bottom for a little digital assistant. This is all running on Oracle's platform. So one of the channels is a web channel that you can put, anywhere. You just need some JavaScript and you can put it on any page. In this case, again, you can click on this and now this loads. So from within here, you can, design your chatbot or digital assistant to go ahead and set up a number of different interactions on how you want to interact. Okay? So here you'll see it's asking about, it's welcoming you, giving you a little bit of information on it, and now it says ask me a question. So I'm going to say, as a cryptocurrency organization or entity, I'm going to say, how do I invest? And from within that, it brings back the information. This is, as I mentioned before, more of a Q&A type of a bot where less interaction, more about giving people 24/7 access to their most common interfaces in a number of different channels. And you could continue on with this flow. So that was one example of a web channel interaction. I can also go and interact to this same bot through a Facebook Messenger interaction. So if I come here, I'm on the JS Facebook Messenger page, and I can do the same exact interaction here through a channel. So I can say, and this as a different channel now gives me additional options to display some of those results. So as you're going down your chatbot, your digital assistant journey, one of the key things to consider are the channels you're going to interact with and what they're capable of from a displaying standpoint. So in Facebook Messenger, you can display cards and provide a little different experience than you can on the little web channel. So again, Oracle's platform supports, multi-channel consumption, and it handles the fact that on the first one, which was web, it didn't support cards, but Facebook does. So when possible, leverage the maximum capability of each channel. Right? So that's one example of a couple of channels that you can use to do an FAQ bot. Another demo I want to cover and some other use cases are, this is another one of our demo servers. You'll notice a lot of these logos over here were the ones that you saw on the slide. Again, I can get you access to this. This is a publicly facing bot, so you can go to any of these bots and type in help. And again, this is a web channel talking to Oracle's platform. A conversational example here is around ordering a part. So I can go ahead and say, I want to now this is using Oracle's intent conversational state engine. So, or pick a part number, how many units would you like? I want 15 of those, which I want to ship it from Seattle to Fishbowl. And it now is, my chatbot is now. So that conversational interaction prior to this would have taken me 15 minutes to call a customer service rep and get access to my back-end EBS system. So there was a second example of a way you can leverage the platform to go do that. A third example and use case is around password reset. You know, many organizations have a problem with password reset because if you're locked out of your company's network, you can't then log into your ServiceNow or your Zendesk system to go do it. So some organizations we work with are working on having a UI where the employee can log in and I can say, I forgot my password. And now it asks me to enter my email. Now it's querying my back-end system, you know, so it's going into, you know, whatever I have for authentication. Now it has some more security questions to say which of the ones is a former address. I'll pick one. And now I can say, do I want to have it sent to another email or to my SMS messaging? So it's doing that. And if you could see it, you would see the message coming across on my phone. And now I've got a code of 548-322. Okay. And now it's asking me to go to a place to reset my password, in which case this is using that instant app capability where now I can go ahead and I'm prompted to, you know, confirm my password. I can submit that, and now that is completed. So that highlighted, again, an ability to integrate with the back-end system, both text messaging and the back-end component, and leverage the instant app to go ahead and drive the integration. A last example is on our another Facebook Messenger app where we're working on with it's for a city we're working with that has a municipality, and they as an organization have a lot of people who are wondering who the representative is in the city or the district they live in, and like what's their garbage recycling. So from here on Facebook, you can enable messaging. So again, within your Facebook page, you can go enable messaging. This is set up in developer mode, so it's not publicly available. So from within here, I can now open this up and I can start to ask a question. So if I start by saying, who's my representative? First thing it does, I need to know my address. And now, again, to the back-end integration capability, we took that address, we basically sent it to Google, you know, did some triangulation on it, compared it to the district zoning map, and now I can actually see who my representative is. Currently, there's, you know, many cities, you know, have to have manual people sitting there to answer this, whether it be through an email or on a phone. Okay? So was this helpful? You know, yes. If not, I have the ability to say no. And in this case, it's integrated with email. So now an email is sent to our office to go ahead and gather information saying, no, this wasn't helpful, but an email has been generated so that our service people in the office can go ahead and respond to it. So you've, again, enabled an integration with another channel. The next scenario here is around garbage. Okay, I want to say, And you'll notice this is some of the language processing. It handles misspellings, it handles intent, and that's all part of that the NLP engine. So if someone doesn't type it right, it's got a very robust process to handle that. Okay. Now I'll go enter another address. On this case, just for time, I'll go grab this address. And so again, leverage that same integration to go ahead and query the backend geocode and do the integration. What's helpful? No, I'm done. Okay. So there was a couple of quick demos. What I'll jump into is a little bit about Oracle's platform. So you have an overview, and then I'll actually jump into the platform so you can actually see it. So what I want to do is use that last demo for this Jersey City bot. When you go log into the new Oracle Digital System platform, this is what the environment looks like. Okay, and for those of you who aren't using it currently, Oracle's got a fantastic program where you can actually get anywhere from $300 to $500 in credit to go ahead and try it out. And that's how we start with many customers is the free trial where you get $300 to $500 in credits to go ahead and get the system working. And that is plenty of money to start out and get some development stuff. Okay? Under that, you have skills, digital assistance, channels, and they've enabled a bot store. So because this has really been designed as a single skill bot, I'm not using the digital assistant. Okay? Within the interface, you have the ability to do both intents, which is what these are. So we have an intent on get representative, which is what I demonstrated, along with getting the trash and recycling. So those are the two intents that we talked through. A critical component in designing a digital assistant is the conversational design and the analytics on how you design. So, for example, if I'm trying to get a representative, these are called utterances, but a key area that we have been working on is the data science around how do you analyze what people are going to ask and how are they going to ask it and point that to the right intent for the job to be done. So the first thing is you create the utterances, you set the intents up, and then you build the integration. So within that, that's what we're doing. You also have the ability in here to go do these entities. So as we talked about, award is one of the entities, and this is one of the capabilities that they've added is to make that more dynamic. Right? So within Jersey City, they have wards, and so we needed to have entities. So when you start to ask about what's my ward, we need to be able to query that. You then can create some other capabilities where you have resources like multilingual or localization is also a key component. This one example, that they're the most diverse county or city in the country, they say. So the ability, which we don't have enabled yet, to support multi-languages is also critical. As we mentioned before as well, many organizations have more of a Q&A or FAQ type of an interaction. So this is that ability to have kind of Q&A built right in that you and your business can even maintain themselves simply by editing it through a UI. So I can come right in here and I can go ahead and keep editing. Oops. I can go ahead and enable the business to go edit the questions and the utterances to go ahead and support the system themselves. You also have a tremendous amount of capabilities in being able to add more suggestions, have more history, really get some analytics out of that, and what percentage of time when people type something are they getting the right response. So insights, again, are critical as the new platform's getting deployed. this is one of the most significant areas of improvement in this latest release, are the detail on the analytics and the visual nature of them. So on here, I'm looking at over the last 7 days, I can go see the number of conversations, which channels are getting used. So how many came through a web channel or a tester channel versus a Facebook Messenger channel. You know, what percentage of these conversations are actually go to completion, or how many don't? You know, what's that duration? And then on the error. So I really get some key insights into what's going on. I can also see what people are asking. So if people are asking things that we're not solving, I can go ahead and get insights into what I need to do better. If I go across the top, I can go see that within that representative, that get representative intent, I can go see more details on that specifically. So which paths complete, how many times, some nice visuals on what happens. I can go look at, okay, this one didn't work, it was unresolved, so then I can go spend time researching that. And you can do that by each of your, each of the intents. I also have an ability to go a lot more granular on the paths. So when I go look at it, I can go see how does it go. You know, I want to get representative, I want to get the ward. So you actually get that ability to get a really good visual on the conversation. When I'm, again, looking at the conversations as well, I can go ahead and, again, see what the intents are, what the outcome was. I can actually view the conversation, so I can see what actually happened. And, again, a lot of different abilities to go ahead and say, maybe I just want to see the ones that were incomplete and what was the conversation. Or let me go look, you know, again, a lot of capabilities on that. Or if I just wanted to see the errors, I could go see the errors. Another key component is when you're building and designing a bot, you have training it and retraining it is key. You don't go ahead and just design a bot and then let it loose. You need to go ahead and train the bot, because that's where the language processing and the AI starts to build up. So when you go through the process of designing a bot, you need to go ahead and have test data sets that you're actually training it with, that you know lead to the right answers. Otherwise, the AI and the machine learning, you know, are starting at zero. So training and retraining is a key component in that. You know, and another key, you know, so just a lot of new functionality with confidence thresholds. So again, as you're designing your bot, deciding what that confidence threshold is and what level of customer service you want are also very important. So again, as you're going through the training, you can start to toggle the thresholds, and you can then go ahead and see the results as they come through based on the number of successful completions you get versus, you know, unresolved intents. The digital assistant is where you can kind of work with the routings and set up the interaction models, you know, and some start, welcome, and help states. The events, we don't have mapping set up on this one currently, but that ties into having the multiple skills interact with the digital assistant. And there's a lot of capabilities on making to drive the ML. You need to go ahead and have the wording right, you know, keep out words and the escalation words to be a lot more effective. So there's just a tremendous amount of insight into what you can do. The last thing I'll touch on before we go finish is the channels. So as I showed you, Oracle's got a tremendous capability to allow you to interact through multiple interfaces. Like you saw a web channel on the JSE Coin webpage. You saw a couple of Facebook interactions through the Facebook channels. And you also saw, not visually, but you saw the interaction with Messenger through Twilio. So within the latest release, Oracle has enhanced the number of channels they support out of the box. So now these are all out of the box channels that you can interact with, whether it's Facebook, webhooks, web, iOS, Android, Twilio, or WeChat. And more are coming on the horizon. Both Microsoft Teams is one, Slack is one. There's a number of others that are in process currently. So I mentioned the agent integration, so you can actually integrate with the live chat handoff. So that's another capability you can handle there. A lot of external application integration and system channels you can work with.